so when I do put in the order, I was gonna get garlic knots, right? The like.
You got to get garlic
But there's only
knots.
6, so should I get 2 orders of them or just 1?
It's a
Probably
garlic
two,
knot.
yeah.
2 orders, okay.
At Little Caesars now they have like these cup of pizza.
Those are pretty good.
Have you had those?
A cup of pizza.
No, they're like
at Little Caesars.
They're like
it's like
pizza muffins.
a pizza baked into like a shape of a muffin.
Of like a
No.
muffin.
But it's
Yeah,
tray.
they're
actually
yummy.
hella
It's
good.
so good.
The kids don't like them, and I'm like, good.
We order
Don't
4
eat
and then
that.
we just eat.
I think too many people shit on Little Caesars.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It's not top
Good.
tier. Not even close.
No.
No.
But for $5,
Yeah.
You can't beat it. I think it's I mean, I don't know much about the company, but good for them for holding on because
Yeah.
I know a lot of times I've been hungry and like I got $5 though. I got $6 for
Yeah.
tax in California, right?
Yeah.
So get a large Little Caesars. You can't beat that.
I wonder if it's the
Large
same
and
owner as the
sure.
Arizona teas. Those are still 99 cents.
Oh my God.
It was killed him.
Welcome to another grooming podcast. Welcome back.
Yay.
I'm Kathleen Austin.
I'm Juan Rivera.
I'm Kat Graney.
And I'm Nathan Austin.
The couches threw me off.
We did it. Yes, for those of you who are just listening and not viewing, we have a whole new setup. Please go and check it out because we worked really hard.
Yeah, on the
And by we, the Austins.
Yeah, it's at their home.
So we have our new studio.
Man
we're really
cave.
we're comfortable now. We have couches.
It looks
Yeah.
like a real studio
Yeah.
now.
I
We've
know.
done it.
We got new holders.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would
New
say
holders.
What are they called?
Mic
new
stands?
mic arms.
Stands?
I think they're mic stands, yeah.
I will say though, last time, like I think the visuals were
The
really good,
visuals.
Mm-hmm.
and like with the backdrop and everything, but it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My ass hurt.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah, my
Every
hips and my
time.
butt. Not
Well, look,
happy.
we're sitting crisscross applesauce on our couch.
Oh my
so
gosh, maybe some. Can't see my feet today because I have shoes, but you know, someday maybe you'll catch my feet.
The summer.
you
the
can see
summer
mine are
ones.
here.
The Nathan obsession. The kicks.
oh
Nathan's
yeah,
got
and
kicks.
also I have ankle socks on.
Oh,
Look how cool I am.
You mean old?
no, ankle,
No, the kids are doing that
not
nowadays.
ankle
They're
socks.
back
not
to ankle.
No, not ankle socks. You have crew socks.
I had a crew on.
Oh,
Crew,
okay,
not
okay.
ankle.
Ankle, yeah, the ones at your ankle, which I'm wearing, but I'm wearing boots.
Oh, I'm wearing the millennial sock. The
I'm
ankle.
a-
boots
I
on.
like the
I'm wearing the
millennial
crew
socks.
socks, but I love the ankle socks.
But you're not wearing them all the way up. Do they only count if you're wearing like?
I won't do it.
No, they
Yeah.
count at this length
They
though, because
count,
they,
okay.
they buy them at this length too.
And then they scrunch them down.
Yeah.
That's the way Drake wears them. So you know.
Okay.
Thanks, Drake, for keeping us
Yeah.
young.
We're old,
The Gen
man.
Z consultant.
yeah. Yeah.
Some people are-
Z or X? Z.
I don't
think he's
fucking
a Z.
know.
Owen, go check the dogs, please.
He's not in here anymore. Remember?
Damn.
He left. So something we have new this year, we have our sponsors. So or we have sponsors. So today's particular episode is sponsored by Urban Grooming Company. We are all wearing their shirts. So if you're watching, take a look. They have we'll talk about it more later, actually. But we're all wearing their shirts, just in case you're all wondering.
And Jetty's wearing their bows.
yes.
If in case you were wondering why Juan is not wearing black today, this is why.
Oh my God.
You're welcome, Urban Groomer Company.
Took him out of
And
his
also
box.
thank you.
And
And also thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so we'll start with a question. So today's question is share an embarrassing moment in your life.
There's so many. How do I
Uh,
choose?
Okay, is this embarrassing? Like just like school, personal, like at work? Does
Okay,
that-
Anything.
I randomly picked
Okay,
one in my
good.
head because there are so many. No, actually a really big one for me, which in retrospect, I don't think anybody should feel embarrassed about this if this happens to you. But at my first grooming competition, you guys were all there. I brought a dog that I had never worked on before. And it was a Scottish Terrier who didn't know me that well and was very blown. And I ended up having to pull from my competition, which for me was very embarrassing because she wouldn't let me do anything to her. And
well, she was trying to bite you though.
Yeah.
she
like
was
a
trying to
lot.
bite me. And I was like, I'm going to
You-
power through.
You were holding on.
I
as
was
long
like,
as you
I'm
could.
going to power through. And I was trying to be really gentle and like, you know, but also you have to be stern. And it was just super embarrassing, right? Because like the judge came over and was like, hey, this is a bad look, right? Like this dog is clearly not happy. And, you know, she's like, I know you're not doing anything, but so having to like pack up all my stuff while everybody was still competing and like leave the ring was super embarrassing. I mean, I recognize that like I made some mistakes by bringing a dog I had never worked with before. And I was, you know, a dog that was too blown, but that was one of the more embarrassing things. Now I know so many of those people that I don't feel embarrassed about it because I know I was just like a newbie and I was in over my head and I made the right choice by pulling. But at the time I was like devastated and totally embarrassed because I was like, all these people are seeing me just fail and pull my dog and leave the ring.
Well, I mean, but people borrow dogs all the time and you don't know how they're going to act probably until you're in the ring.
Yes. Yeah.
So that happens.
Well, they also, even if they're show dogs, it's totally new to them too as well.
Yeah.
I have a dog I groom all the time in the shop, and when I brought her on stage, she was freaked. Like the screen freaked her out because we were right by the big, huge screen, and she's like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
And you know, it's a lot. It's very overstimulated. We're feeling a lot. They're feeling a lot.
Yes.
And fun fact, that dog is like one of the #1 Scotties.
She was the #1 Scotty bitch last year.
Yeah,
I still work with
Yeah,
her
but
and
you
her breeder.
you also like don't become the #1 Scotty by being like
The nicest dog in the world.
nicest dog
Yeah.
in the world, yeah.
No.
Yes, yeah.
She's got to be
So,
terrier.
like
She's
I
got the
said,
spunk she needs.
in retrospect, it's not, you know, it's like not embarrassing, but at the time it was like so incredibly embarrassing. And we were there as a team, and so I just felt like I was letting down my team, and everybody else had like done well except for me at that point. So that was brutal.
Yeah.
That was tough.
I don't know. Someone else has to go because I can't think of one.
My
Valentino white bag.
Was that Christopher Walken? It sounds like
No.
Christopher Walken.
I could try to do Christopher Walken. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Nope.
Okay, was that your embarrassing moment?
It's like this. I don't know.
More cowbell.
You're more cowbell.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's at the end.
Does your mother sew? No, I can't do it. I can't.
He tried. Womp womp.
Wait, which one is it? Nope.
Nope, not that one. There you go.
Okay, so mine was when I was young, elementary school. I've always had an issue about going to the restroom in public. If it's not my toilet, it's hard for me. And it's always been, my dad's always been like this, like we're anywhere, we have to go home regardless where we are. If we just we have to go home. So I grew up like that. So I was it was probably like 2nd or 3rd grade, and I was in the nurse's office, and I was like, my stomach hurts, I have to go home. My stomach hurts, I have to go home. And we couldn't get a hold of my mom, couldn't get a hold of my dad. So I was just like hanging out in the nurse's office. And I shit myself
Oh.
at the nurse's office.
Yeah, I would have laughed at you.
And the entire office, like it was like the attendant, like it was like the nurses, it was like a nurse corner essentially. So
Right.
like everything was, so I had to wear clothes from the Lost and Found.
Oh.
And I had to go back to class because we couldn't, it was just.
They couldn't get a hold of your mom, so like,
And
sorry,
eventually,
go
a
back.
couple hours later, I got picked up. But like only the office
So how'd
staff.
you clean yourself up?
I had to throw all my clothes away and just
Wipe
wear,
as best as you
wear
could.
shirt. I bought them sweats from the Lost and Found. Hopefully they were
Nice.
clean because I wasn't wearing any underwear. So I don't know.
That's a pretty good one.
But that was embarrassing as hell.
That's a pretty good one.
Thankfully, only the adults know, and now the whole world.
And now,
But
Now
everyone here.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
You
thanks,
were a
office
kid.
staff.
Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Pass.
a pass on that.
I never forget it though.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
There'll probably be more as you
You
get
got one?
older.
I got one.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have a lot of embarrassing moments, but this one is like I've been thinking a lot about it. When I was in Santa Rita, which was a jail, like when I first got there, they're like, the story's hilarious, but this is like when they strip you down. I didn't realize like they actually, this is how it was when I was there. They make you get naked in front of a bunch of other dudes. So there's like 30 of us in this room standing up against the wall, and they're like, all right, get naked. And so I'm like, okay. And I just turned 18, so I'm like all embarrassed.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Or grown boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking freaked out.
Yeah.
So like everyone's just getting naked, and I'm like, oh my God, I just got to do it.
Yeah.
Because what else is
Yeah.
it? So I'm just staring at the wall, and I'm standing there in the buff, right? And then they go now squat and cough, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so everyone like squats and coughs, and he's like, squat and cough. And he's like yelling at me, like, you ain't doing it right. Deeper. And I'm like squatting, and he's like, spread your cheeks. And I'm like trying my best not to get an ass whooping. So I'm like, I'm squatting.
Or shit on the floor.
I'm squatting so deep. I'm like, and he's like, spread your cheeks wider and cough. And I'm like, just like coughing. and then like I was the one who didn't know how to do it the best. So like he had to get on me the worst. So then after that, after that though, I didn't care, you know, because it was like, I already done exposed the inside of my sphincter to everybody. So, you know, like.
Gets you over it real quick.
Yeah.
Just like having
It
a
was
baby.
pretty embarrassing. At
How
least it was a bunch of
vulnerable.
other dudes doing it at the same time, but I was like definitely the young. Everyone else was like in their 30s.
They probably already
Like
been in a
grown-
bunch of times.
Yeah, they're all grown men.
and
then
you're
they're
like,
Oh, this again.
yeah. And everyone's like making comments like, oh, wait till we get back to the dorm. You
I
know,
was
like,
gonna say they're like, oh, they're checking out the inventory.
yeah. And the whole time I'm
Damn.
freaked out. They're like, and they're like, oh, boy, you look good. And I'm freaked out. I didn't know, but that jail isn't like that, though. They're just like, we're razzing me.
Yeah.
But it was scary
It
as
was
hell.
highly entertaining
It
for
was
them.
scary as hell. I was like,
Well,
oh my God.
It was scary enough that you never went back.
Yeah,
You got
I-
out and were
worked.
like,
I don't
fuck
want
this.
these cheeks to get busted open. You know? But that was it.
That's a pretty good one.
Damn.
Yeah. You know, I'm trying to think of an exact one. I embarrassed easy. So like anything and everything. I was like tripping, falling on my face. That happens quite often. There's okay.
I think a lot of the times you're like, oh, that was embarrassing. And I'm
and
like,
no one notices.
yeah, I'm like, why? But you're like
like,
all
what?
embarrassed about it.
So there's this one that sticks out in my memory. So I would think I was probably in 3rd or 4th grade, and I got up from the desk, and I didn't realize the teacher was going to sit down in my chair at my desk. So I took the chair with me, and she sat down and fell.
Oh, no.
Embarrassing. That's sick.
I was
You're just a bully?
so embarrassed. And she like got up and she just like looked at me, and I started crying because that's what I
embarrassing.
Made
did.
your teacher fall. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, she's, you know, and I was always like the teacher's pet. I was always super kind and
See, that's
didn't
what-
want to be in trouble.
That's what I would have thought is embarrassing, the crying.
Yeah.
I would have been like, wow, Kat is fucking cool.
No, I cry a lot. We used to cry a lot more. I don't cry too much anymore, but I cried a lot in my youth.
So is that why
Anytime
you
people-
don't cry anymore? Because you're always like, I can't cry.
You done
Because you
used it
cried
up.
too much as a child.
You know, people would just look at me when I was younger, and I'd start like people of authority or adults would just look at me, and I'd start crying.
Without
Ellie's
doing
like
anything
that.
wrong.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, just being
When
in
Ellie-
trouble. The thought of being in trouble just makes me want to cry.
When Ellie was right here, right now, and I'm like, all right, girls, just pay attention to these cameras. She made eye contact with me and went,
Yeah, she
and like
acts
hugged you. I'm like, damn, I'm not gonna beat you. Like,
She acts like, but I was just like that as a child, and I was like, the genes are strong because I rarely yell at her.
Yeah.
Actually, she got in trouble the other day at school for calling a kid an idiot,
right
and
on.
I was like, okay, well, we don't call people names. She got a punishment, like she
She got in
playtime
trouble,
or
yeah.
something.
That's
you
way
know?
better than what we called each other when I was a kid.
I
Oh,
know,
yeah.
and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
she's like, it was this boy, and he was just being
An idiot.
mean. And I was like, okay,
Facts.
he was being an idiot. I get
Facts.
it. I was like, yeah, of all the things you could have said, I don't care. She's like, don't be mad. Don't tell grandma. Whatever you do, don't tell
Oh
grandma. And I
my
was
god!
like,
Did you tell grandma?
no, but grandma will find out.
Hi, Jane.
I was like, she's not going to care that she called some little boy an idiot.
No, especially Jane is like, fight the power. She's like, yeah, that boy is probably an
An
She
idiot.
stood up for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I embarrass incredibly easy, and just saying something wrong. I just fumble over my words a lot here.
Mm.
And, you know, I messed up a little in the beginning. That was
All right,
a little embarrassing.
If you guys have any embarrassing moments you want to share with us and we'll
Yeah.
share in the air, send those in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, since we're already on the topic, the second question was, when did you last cry in front of another person and or by yourself?
I fucking cry all the time now.
I was gonna say I cry all the
I
time.
like cry I'm watching a movie. We were watching Ghostbusters 2, or no, the new Ghostbusters, like Frozen Empire, and like I got all teary-eyed. I don't even know why. It was because like some kid was like, or it was an appropriate time to cry, but somebody was being mean to somebody, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, so all the time.
I cry a lot. I cry all the time. I'm a very emotional. Since I had children in particular, like anything, seeing a picture, or I was just thinking like,
Look
how
at this
grown up my children.
photograph.
Yeah, I was thinking like how grown up my children are, and
They
like
are very grown up.
you know, and I miss them being like little and so cute.
Today we
and-
watched our son in his first wrestling match, and he lost a couple, but then won one, and seeing him win was amazing.
Just
Yeah.
Seeing
watching
him
him
win,
wrestle
seeing him
around.
pin that little
Well, even the
little trooper was
Well,
awesome.
even- I he did 4.
I was way too into it, dude.
You were.
Way too into it.
But he did 4, and the last one he lost. But I was actually most proud of that one because
Yeah.
that he was outmatched. That kid was better than he was, but he put so much like heart and effort into. He was so close, and that kid was really good, and so that made me really proud
Put him a
because
fight.
he fought tooth and nail, and he was like close, like. He could have won that match.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was very nice.
Cat got to watch too, so it was cool.
Yeah. So, okay. What about you?
I like you guys. I've been crying for everything.
Yeah.
Like I've been reading a lot lately, and I cry. I've never cried for books before,
Oh, I
and
love it.
now
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what switched the last
Maybe
few
it's the
months.
age.
But I think
I
so.
think it's an
I
age
think so. I think so because before, I mean, growing up, I was always like, I had to be straight, right, and be like a man.
Macho.
So I always like held down my emotions, and now I'm like, whatever. I just let
Yeah.
myself cry when I need to. So always in front of everyone.
Yes.
I've cried in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like the polar opposite. As I get older, I get, I don't know, more cold. But like
Cold blooded.
I get emotional, but I repress it. Maybe it's because I was such a crier as a young child that I
Mhm.
think maybe I got too embarrassed by crying. But I am a private crier. Sometimes I will just watch sad things to make myself cry because it makes me feel better.
I used to be a private crier.
Crying
I
makes
would
me
watch.
feel weak. I
I
feel
would
like
watch sad things and then like cry, and I hated crying in front of people. But the older I've gotten, the less I care, and the more I'm just like, whatever, let it out. Who cares?
But as I get older, I also get more ragey when like people
Well,
it's
that
like
too.
something to cry about. Like if someone does something to me, I get upset and more mad and defensive
instead of
crying. And
Punch.
that's
'em.
good. I think, right? That's a good thing.
I don't know. It just depends on the situation. But I will, like, sometimes I just have to think of something sad just because you feel like you need that good cry.
I
Yeah.
do think you need a good cry every once in a while.
sometimes I like want it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll like go to
Gay.
just cry in the shower.
Yeah. Showers.
Shower cries are good.
I still I'm like, I know I'll start crying and I'm like, little bitch. In my mind, I'm like, get it together. And
It's
I'm like,
okay to
okay, it's
cry.
okay to be sad. It's okay. This is okay.
Sometimes it's not even sad crying; it's just like emotional.
Yeah.
I would say
Well,
more often.
Overwhelmed.
I feel like you don't cry. I don't feel like you don't really sad cry. It's more like just emotional cry.
Another thing that does make me cry is when other people cry. When other people get emotional, I
Yep.
start crying. That's like an instant cry for me, practically.
Yeah.
Even like clients come in and stuff and like say their dog passed or something like that. Then if they start crying, I'll start crying with them.
I think there's also a difference though between a happy cry and a sad cry, right?
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
I've had a couple, like the two sad cries that stick out to me. I was like the best in show, I happy cried, and then when we had Owen, I happy cried
Oh my God, you keep mixing those up, man.
Well,
because
you,
only bitches cry.
you like made your daughter feel bad last night.
Oh well, I mean it was true though. Like
Yeah.
there's like that's the reality. Oh, so
So what
I
happened?
was
last night?
explaining how like when we had our son, which was our firstborn,
Mhm.
that I cried when he opened his mouth and let out a yell. I cried,
Mhm.
and I told Isolde, I was like, yeah, I cried, but it wasn't the same. I'm just being honest,
Yeah.
you know, like I was I was super happy
Well,
she
going
was born.
from no child
but-
to one child
and
is
it-
very different.
and I told her it wasn't about Owen.
Right.
I mean, it is he was born, but it was about all of a sudden this thing. I'm like, it's just
Mhm.
hard to explain.
The first time you bring life into the world.
Yeah, so I was trying
There's
not to
just a
hurt her
big
feelings, but I also
feeling.
want to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
like their first child born, there's something.
Yeah.
Something about it. Well, good. I'm only having one.
Anyway.
So, what are we going to talk about today, guys?
Well, I think the main thing is catching up on the break.
Yeah, catching up. I mean, we've been out of practice for a few months, so
Yeah.
we've been doing some stuff
Yeah.
ish. I don't
Ish.
know.
Since
I don't know
December,
how
yes.
eventful our breaks have been. Who wants to go first?
I think Cats was the most eventful, probably. Ours are a little less so.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
do you want to go first?
Yeah,
Juan?
I'll go
We'll
first.
We'll just go and
So we stopped. Our last episode was in December, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So December was crazy. Holiday season is just like insane. So it was just like work, work, work. I was off for the week between Christmas and Thanksgiving, which
Nice.
people, Australians
Wait, a
apparently.
week between
Sorry,
New Year's?
between Christmas and New
Okay.
Year's. My bad. I found out Australians call it Goochmas.
What?
Wait, what?
Goochmas.
Ooh.
Between Christmas and
What?
New Year's is Goochmas. So I was like,
Australians are so
I
fun.
love this. So
Somebody
for Goochmas,
explain.
for Goochmas, I did nothing and I just vegged, and that was really nice.
Nice.
And I've been
Need
since
to
the
get
new
veg.
year, I've been kind of like reprioritizing life and myself and my health, and I started hitting the gym again. Started
Nice.
working out, eating better. I'm down 20 pounds since the first of the year.
Congratulations.
And yay, thank you. I feel like this
Mm-hmm.
time around it feels different. I feel like something like clicked in my mind, and it's just like it's a different mental state for me going forward in regards to like how I'm taking care of myself and what I'm eating, what I'm putting into my body, and like working out. Because like, yes, losing weight is fantastic, and I want to feel more comfortable in my clothes. But like the energy I have, and just like I feel like lighter on my feet when I'm just like walking, and I just feel more like, and I don't like groan when I bend over to like pick something up. Like I'm like, ugh, you know, a little
Yeah.
bit, but not as loud.
Nice.
I don't get winded when I go upstairs and stuff. So it's like it's a very nice. It's been a nice change, and I'm very excited to go forward with that. And again, it just feels different, and it feels like I'm gonna like hold on to it and like
Nice.
continue. And
Good
I'm
job.
very excited. And part of the reason I'm saying all this is because I want to be held accountable, and I
Oh,
want to
shit.
know. I want to be like, well, shit, all these people now know that I'm on this thing. So hold me accountable, please.
I'm
And maybe
very
you can give
proud
like
of you.
updates throughout.
Do you think it
throughout
has
the
anything
season.
to do with the sun?
The sun? You know what? Maybe.
Because my emotions, and Katie's more than me, but like the sun affects it a lot. Like
Yeah.
the amount of sun there is a day.
But I
Yeah.
think the fact that you're making it, you're changing like your diet and really paying attention and going to the gym, like you're making these habits,
Yeah.
and that's what really counts, right? Because like when you go on like crash diets, it's hard for that to stick.
Yeah.
You have to be realistic and like work within the confines of like the time, the money, all of those things. So doing it the way that you're doing it, I think will help make it last.
Yeah, I mean, all the food I'm eating, yes, it's like healthier, but it's like it doesn't feel like a diet because it's also delicious.
That's good.
And it's taken a while to like find those foods, but I'm
That
so happy.
Chipotle chicken,
Good.
hella good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we use for our meal prep. Bernie brought some.
It is so good.
It's so delicious. And then I've been reading a whole bunch. I read the whole ACOTAR series.
Whoop, whoop.
Kathleen and I have been like texting about it because she read it all last year. So I'm like catching up. And then I read all of the Fourth Wing stuff.
So
I read
good.
a book
Wait,
called.
did you finish it?
I finished it.
Oh.
Insane. I feel like I'm so behind because these are not new
Wait,
series.
Fourth Wing, the whole series,
The whole
three,
series,
all
all
three.
three,
We'll
all
have to talk
three.
about it later.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just so I think, okay, side note, because these are all like fantasy. I don't like fantasy stuff. I've talked about it before.
Now you
I
do?
don't like fantasy. I don't like dragon stuff. I don't like magic stuff. I've never really been into it. But because of this series, I found that I like romantasy.
Romance.
Oh,
is
Because
Romantasy.
I was like, oh my God, am I into this? Let me try to listen to The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So I started and I cannot. Because
Not
it's just
enough-
old
Not enough
dudes.
porn in it.
Maybe it's not spicy enough.
Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
like a whole bunch of like dudes, like blah, blah, blah. Like I got through maybe like the first there are audiobooks. Maybe like the first 2 hours, and I was like, it's boring. There's no like love. There's no like girl. There's no like, like I mean, maybe I didn't get far enough.
But there is love. It's a different type of
Yeah,
love.
I don't
It's
care.
Frodo's like
No.
love of
I
he's
know what you mean
sacrificing-
though. I love fantasy all the way around, but romantasy is my
Yes.
like. I could read it all day,
and
every day.
And I remember like before last year when we were talking, and you would be like, oh, all this fairy stuff, and I'm like, fairy stuff, and I'm like reading it, and I'm like, damn, it's like,
Oh, fairy.
oh my God, like the way they just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
describe
Did
stuff.
you make Ronnie
and,
dress
like,
up as a fairy now?
it's like, okay.
Get
We
it
got
right.
the
Can I
hookup
borrow
on
those
the ear. We
ears?
got the hookup
Can I
on
borrow
the
those
ears.
Yeah.
I'll send you the Etsy store.
So like I'm just like in this whole I've immersed myself in this whole like just like healthy stuff too, but like also like mental stimulation with like the books and
Nice.
everything. And I've been reading like productive books, like habit books and like ADHD books and stuff.
Nice.
But like I am enjoying the romantasy the most.
Awesome.
Nice.
So I think I want to
So-
continue going on.
I notice a lot of time when I'm hungry, I'm bored at the same time. So I think I eat because like I'm bored.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if
mhm.
you find something else to
So something
fill
keeping your mind like your mind busy sounds like a great
Well,
idea.
Because I'm sure with the ADHD, right? It's like your mind's and so
I did read how to ADHD. It's like they're
You
all
recommend
audiobooks. It is a great book. I mean, it's fantastic. It does give you like things to do, but it really calmed me down and made me realize that like there's so many people with these same struggles, and ultimately it's up to us as our own own person to like fix whatever, or not fix, but like learn how to live with it without letting it affect us negatively.
right,
That's a really good book.
overcome it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when it's working with me, I feel like it's a superpower.
Yeah.
I feel like, oh shit,
And then
I understand everything, and I could like whip things together with just some YouTube videos and shit. But then I feel like more often than not, it holds me back. But
In other ways, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, that's what I've been doing. Just a whole lot of like focusing on me and my
Good.
actually, yeah, my mind, my
Yeah,
Your
body,
mental
my
health, your
yeah, and I feel
physical
great
health.
and I feel happy, and I never. Yes, the weather was always like, oh, it was back in my mind, like, oh my God, it's just this weather that is like making me. But it's like there's also work that you need to do on your own.
Yeah.
And
we should go out and hang out and like to a bar or club or something.
Yeah. Like I
Yes.
honestly, I have not felt this like, I don't want to say free because that just feels weird, but like it's just, I don't know.
Alive.
Good.
Yeah, like-
Rejuvenated.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed these we missed you. I missed you.
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy these 3 months away just to kind of bring it back to me. And I've been having a great few months. And
Perfect.
so that was my break.
Wrong one.
Oh, wait,
Damn.
Yay.
yeah, I think this.
That was the right
Yeah.
one. Today's sponsored episode comes to you from Urban Groomer Company. They are okay. Thank you for that. They're a brand with groomers specifically in mind. Stand out after hours in the salon with any of our trendy pieces, which very trendy. Mine is a crop top. I'm not standing up, so you can't really tell. Nathan's actually has a really cool back. Turn around,
Yeah,
Nathan.
turn around.
Turn around. Move your hair. Squat lower. No. Cute. If you love a modern, moody aesthetic, then you have to check us out. We offer modern streetwear and accessories for the everyday groomer, from graphic tees and hoodies to perfume for you and your canine, and trendy stickers.
Yeah, stuff smells good.
Yeah, I was gonna say Juan got the perfume,
spray it? Did
or
you smell it
Ronnie
yet,
did.
Kat?
No, I have not.
Okay, hold on.
It's for people and dogs.
Straight on Jetty.
Wait on.
Good.
Smell my wrist.
Very
How
nice.
sensual.
Yeah, what about Jetty? It's called
That
Lavish.
does smell
Lavish.
good.
And
Mm.
the bottle's like, it's like a frosted glass, so it
It's
just
beautiful.
feels
And
nice.
it's gold.
It looks premium.
This one's
Awesome.
jasmine, sweet pea, and how do you say that? Freesia?
It's a
It's
very
almost
nice
like a
smell.
Bichon Frise.
Very, very pretty aesthetic.
Go,
We
Katie.
select only the best quality fabrics for our attire and give it you the most comfortable and confident feel outside, even inside the salon. Represent yourself as an amazing dog stylist that you are. We proudly support other local small businesses as our manufacturers. That's awesome.
Thank you, Urban Groomer Company.
Yeah, thank you.
No, we really like the shirts they sent. The smell really is great.
Yeah, it smells really
Honestly, they've been great to work with. We actually met them last year at Hershey, and
We
they were
did.
just so sweet.
I'll wear the
So-
smell in Atlanta, and you could come smell.
So we were just really grateful for like the opportunity to work with them. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Should we describe our shirts to the people who aren't watching?
They
Nope,
can.
they should.
They.
Well, maybe we'll post it on social.
We're gonna post
Yeah.
it on our social medias. So go check it out because we're gonna take some photos. But anyway,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, so I mean, when we went on break, we haven't done a lot either. But you did go. You went and did a photo shoot with Andis, right?
Oh yeah, we went and did a photo shoot with Andis, and Tone from Groom House was there. Valerie was there.
Gabriel was there.
Gabriel was there. It's always fun to hang out with them.
Hopefully, we'll get to see you on some products.
So like,
That'd
oh,
be cool.
so
That'd be
actually,
lit.
I get off the freaking plane. I get off the plane, right? Because I always wear slides for the plane. And I get off the plane and I'm sitting there and I'm eating a Panda Express in some airport in Florida. And I look down and I'm like, oh man, I should take these slides off. And I realized I didn't bring shoes.
For the
I
entire
just forgot
Typical
shoes.
Nathan.
It's a good thing
Katie didn't
Tone.
pack for him.
Yeah,
I did
it's a good
not.
thing Tone, like, he picked me up at the airport. No, did he?
Yeah.
I thought he did.
That was Tone.
Well, and then he took me to the mall and like, cause we're like tight, like we're friends, right? So he took me to the mall and I bought some Jordans. These ones actually.
How
Nice.
do Florida malls compare to California malls?
It actually looked like it was alive.
Ew.
You know how California malls are like dying mostly?
Yeah.
It was like I mean, there was some closed stores, but it wasn't like a skeleton.
Mm.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, because all malls are like that here.
It was the same though.
Yeah, sometimes I expect like grass to be growing or a tree in the middle of the mall because it's so dead.
Well, you know
around here.
how like in California though, it seems like
Not always.
if the mall
though.
doesn't have a roof, it's doing great, right? Like the
yeah,
outdoor
outdoor malls.
true.
outdoor
Mhm.
malls seem to be doing fantastic, but
Yeah.
the indoor malls, people are like, it's actually sad to me that what's happening to indoor malls because like I
We
spent so
grew
much
up-
time
we
there.
grew
there
up in them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
watching the like. You know the
Oh
the,
my
the
God.
hot dog on a
What
the hot
is
dog on a
that?
stick person.
Hot dog on
I
a
mean, if
stick,
you never
yeah.
watched the hot dog on a stick person a couple times, like
No, you did.
Let's get real.
Everybody did.
yeah.
okay. Anyway.
What-
Also, though, I was gonna say, so you went and did that photo shoot, but then there was a little bit of a online like controversy because you
Your
had
hands.
posted
yeah,
a video of them covering up your tattoos, and a lot of people took offense to that.
Yeah.
they did?
So I posted a
Yeah.
story. It was like
Yeah.
a story and a picture of my hands getting the tattoos getting covered, right? And like, I didn't know so many people like
Would
they
be
came.
so passionate
They were so
about it.
like they're covering up Nathan's tattoos. Hell no, that's they're taking away his
dim his
individual.
light. Yeah.
And on, hundreds of comments.
Although we very much appreciate the defense. Like,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Standing up
being
for you.
for standing up for Nathan.
Okay, but what it
but
came,
he did know ahead of time. They did
Yeah.
let him know ahead of time that that would be because they wanted those photos to be focused on the product and
And
not on the tattoos, but also
it's a legal thing, right? Because it's a big conglomerate, right? Like, and this is a huge company, and I have on this hand, I have Majora's Mask, and that is a copyrighted image.
yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
never thought about that, and I have
Well-
copyrighted image on these, so they can't put that on their packaging without having to pay
Yeah.
Nintendo. And Nintendo isn't
Not
a company
just
to mess
that,
around with.
Not just that, but the
So like on a-
tattoo artist too. That's his work.
Yeah.
So he could technically try if he really
I
wanted
would-
to.
yeah, I would
be
have
like,
to, like,
hey,
contact
pay.
him. So in order to like, it just makes like once
Yeah.
you hear that stuff, you're like, oh, okay, because
So
they
it's not
want
a
me
big
on their
deal.
products. They just like can't deal with the legal stuff
Yeah.
of this, And if it's on a social media post, is one thing, right?
Right.
But
yeah.
if it's on like packaging that goes into thousands of stores across the country and the world,
Yeah.
that's a different.
yeah, they're not trying to mess with that. So thank you to everybody.
But people came. Yeah, it made me
Yeah,
feel
came
really
from-
loved. It made me
yeah,
feel really
thank
loved.
you to
I was like,
everybody.
oh my
but
God.
yeah, we knew ahead of time. So. But
Oh,
yeah,
and then we did a
I wrote it down in order. I know you're gonna jump ahead.
okay, go.
He's gonna be like, and last week we did this thing. So, well, Owen also had an orchestra concert. That was really cool to go and see him play the cello.
You should tell me next time. I want to come.
Yeah.
Oh, that he would love that.
I
dude.
miss. I was in band all growing up, and I miss like I always tell Ron, is it weird if I just like show up to like random concerts, like first
No.
like
I don't
the
think
middle
so.
schools and high
I
schools
don't think so.
locally? Because that's
So
I miss
he
that.
would like his biggest thing is he's playing and then he's looking at us. He just wants to know people are there to like
He-
see him.
He was doing that wrestling too. Kept
He
looking
loves
over.
it.
He's
Yeah.
literally getting choked out and he's like he looks over to see if we're there watching. Like, we're watching you, dude. Fucking pay attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So he was like extra happy when he seen because he was already like feeling down because he lost more than he won.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it lifted his spirits when he seen Auntie there too.
Yeah.
So he would be super happy if you came to his
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm. Yeah,
I would
we'll
love
let you
it.
know next time. I think they have at least one more concert this
Okay.
year. And then it was Isolde's birthday over our break, so she had a party and we got her Billie Eilish tickets. So we took her to her well, it wasn't her first concert, but that was like her chosen
And so,
concert.
and also I want to touch on with Isolde. Like I know a lot of people probably listening have like the
Right?
industry like
neurodivergent.
has a lot of neurodivergent people, and she's neurodivergent. And like this was her first actual like party because she was worried no one would come.
Oh, her birthday party. Yeah.
She was worried. Like, she's like, I don't want to have a party because I don't think people are going to come. And
but she did.
so like
She
she
had a
did
lot
have
of people
friends came
come.
and a lot of friends.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, like, it was like,
Thank
oh
God.
my God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
We were a little
Thank
I was
worried.
God.
worried too.
Thank God,
But
yeah.
she had a very good party. She really enjoyed the concert. We had our annual Christmas party for the salon. That's always a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and only one person got hurt.
Wait, who got hurt? I don't remember.
He didn't get hurt. You're the glass.
Do more people get hurt normally?
Oh.
Yeah, people usually get hurt. Cat got hurt last year.
We
No,
played.
that was
no,
like
that was a couple years ago. I almost broke my wrist.
Yeah, but at the
Playing
freaking
musical
Halloween
chairs.
at the Halloween party, everybody was climbing
We
up
need
on
to-
the roof and jumping down.
We need
Like,
to have people
guys,
sign shit. I think we know that you have people sign shit.
You want to come to our parties? You got to sign this.
You're responsible.
Release waiver. No, somebody fell and like broke a glass and fell into a rose bush, and not just like a new, but you know how an old rose bush that's been there for years,
Oh, and those thorns are thick.
and it's just like this knob, this wooden knob of like
Thorns.
branches. They fell right into that.
Well, and it's winter too. It's
so it's just like
It was
dead,
wet.
and like, but he was so embarrassed, and I'm like, it's no big deal.
yeah, no biggie.
We were playing this
don't
game
care.
where we put balls. Well, no, we had like
Bows.
bows on
Bows.
our backs, and we all had to like grab him.
Uh-huh.
So
It's
we're
like
all
capture the flag.
chasing each other and
okay.
like. So of course
It's one of
somebody
my
freaking
favorite
fell.
games.
Yeah, it's definitely you're gonna get hurt. We definitely should sign shit. They're in my house now.
Well, we said we're not doing that one anymore. It's dangerous.
My favorite.
Cat. That's because you and your brother end up at the end just like fucking facing off.
He always
dueling.
beats me though.
Well, yeah.
Well, I was talking about earlier with Owen. I was like, I love to play games and do kind of shit, but I really suck at them,
That's
and I never
life.
win. But I still love doing them.
That's life.
I think it's been nice too to work and like just worry about work.
We've been home working.
Because I think a lot of times when I'm grooming dogs, I'm like thinking about other stuff. So this like this little break has been good because I just got to focus on dogs.
Well, yeah, I think all of January we just worked. We just were home and we worked. And then Rachel came up and took a Scotty lesson, so that was nice.
Yeah,
And
always nice
we all
hanging
got
with
to
friends.
hang out with her and her husband, so that was really fun. And then we did the WAGs event. So
yeah. Utsumi was having some people down for Pasadena, and obviously that got postponed.
for a
So
photo shoot too.
WAGs and Utsumi decided, the people are here, let's do something nice. So we put on a free event, just like a free event to people to come do. And we had some seminars, and we had Jingu there, the Japanese member from Team Utsumi. If you guys don't know who Jingu is, he's like literally amazing.
He's phenomenal. Him and his wife are incredibly
But
talented.
He put my mini into a full Continental. He was already in a Conti, but he just sprayed him up and like trimmed it and did the whole thing. And he did it with straights only. And it was like demoralizing. You know what I mean? Because I often think like, yeah, I'm up there.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't realize how much I've become reliant on chunkers and thinners and curve shears. So watching him just bang this like literally the best probably Continental I've ever seen out with straights. And then somebody asked him like, why do you use straights? And he's like, oh, well, I think it's more of a challenge and basically just like it's more badass.
Yeah, he was like, I
I'm
enjoy
like,
the
it is.
challenge.
And I'm
we're
like, you're freaking right. Like it was literally incredible. I am not somebody that sits down and like watches stuff. So I think that a lot when I'm teaching, I'm like, am I boring these people? Because I get hella bored and I'll start yawning. But I was literally enthralled watching him for 2 hours groom Neptune. My teaching style is gonna change a little, and also like I've put a lot of my chunkers I still have my chunkers out because I love them.
Yeah.
But I just really focus a lot now on just trying to use my straights.
Yeah, since then, both me and Nathan have been trying to use
Even
our
me,
straights.
I wasn't really there.
Yeah.
I was like,
So that was really cool. And it was really cool because the homeboys came because it was a free event. And so if you guys have listened to a previous episode, you'll know. And if you haven't, if you don't know who the homeboys are, then go back and listen. I think it was homeboys.
Yeah, so they were there, and it's like previously incarcerated people, like they bring them in and teach them how to groom dogs and work with dogs, and they were there, and that was like freaking
It was
awesome.
really,
They're like,
really
we're here
cool
to meet
see
you,
them.
and I'm like, oh my god, like it.
It was
Yeah.
very meaningful.
And
Yeah,
you
it
said
was-
they heard the episode.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was really meaningful to meet them in person and see them out there trying to educate themselves and be better. So it was super, super cool. So that was a lot of fun. And it was really just nice to like meet all the people. All the proceeds from that got donated to the fires. I think in all between like Utsumi and Wags, it was like almost $3,000. So that was nice.
Yeah.
To raise that money. And you did a social media class. We shared a poodle class, and I did a Scotty class, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And I gave my puppy gave my puppy to his new owners.
Oh, that's right.
Little Linky Boo.
My little Linky boy.
And he like slept with us those 2 nights in the bed, and like we've been trying not to do that because we don't want to love him.
You loved
But
him
you
from
love
the
him
moment
already.
he
Yeah.
was
I
born.
loved
Yeah.
him.
But he's like so good at sleeping. He just like
was
cuddles
so
up with
good.
us.
I'm good at sleeping.
And I'm like, I just want to.
I'm good at
I'll
sleeping.
wake up and he's like cuddling with me, and I just want to like punch him right in his stupid face.
Yeah.
To get his mouth and just go, just
Yeah,
rip it open.
Just
Yeah.
yeet.
Yeah.
Just I love him so much.
And then we did the next day you did a photo shoot with Utsumi, so that was really cool.
Yeah, and you know what? We got to learn like so much about scissors. So I thought I knew about scissors, but Victor Rosado like drops knowledge on us for about 3 hours. This man can talk about scissors. It was kind of incredible, and there's a bunch of stuff going into our education stuff, but like it was really incredible to actually learn about the crafting of scissors.
Mhm.
Of scissors.
And then, well, I forgot, and we got to watch Jingu do a Bashan too, so that was really cool.
I know. I'm very sad I wasn't there for that.
But that was it. And we really didn't do a lot. It was family stuff, a lot of family stuff, just those couple little things. So, Kat, I think, had the most eventful time out of all of us.
And go.
And go. Well, so the holidays, obviously, you know, parties and family parties and work parties. Those are always a bunch of fun, and I enjoy spending Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with my daughter. That's always fun. But in the beginning of December, I traveled to Florida to go to Royal Canin, the cluster there. So they have like a pre-show, and then the Royal Canin's just the 2 days. But me and Lumiere, my male special, Bashan, we went to Florida, and talk about embarrassing, okay? We're talking about embarrassing, okay.
go.
So I gave Lumi a different kind of medication because our vet shut down and never came
I
back.
forgot about
Wait,
this.
I don't know this. Okay,
You
tell me.
don't know
I don't
this?
think
oh,
so.
God. Oh, I think you know. I think I messaged the group.
Okay, let's
So-
see.
Okay, but anyways, Victor Rosado was on my plane too, so that didn't help. And there was a bunch of show people going. But anyways, I had given Lumi a new medication. I usually give him some trazodone before we fly, just to take the edge off, just so he sleeps, right?
Yes, I remember this now.
And I gave him gabapentin because the new vet I went to wouldn't give him trazodone. And I said, okay, I'll try it, right? And I give it to him, and he has like an adverse reaction. You know, like if you gave a kid Benadryl and it made him hyper instead of... So he was freaking flipping out. He was biting at his... mind you, this dog has flown at least 10 to 15 times.
Were you flying him as a service dog?
No.
Okay.
I was flying him
He
as
was
a
in
pet.
the bag.
He was in his bag. And he was biting at his bag. He was thrashing. He escaped not once, but twice. He was barking and screaming.
I asked Victor if he remembered, and he's like, no, I don't. He's like, oh, is Bashan being super loud and crazy? And he's like, oh.
And not only
Yes.
that, he escaped from his bag twice. The first time he just went to the row behind me, but the second time he went running up and down the aisle on the plane. I was so embarrassed.
I
And
would have ceased to exist.
How did you not like...
Just murder him.
You know, I'm nice to my dogs. I don't like hit them and stuff, but like I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna...
So I didn't.
You grab him?
Wait till we get
Well,
home.
I'm
well,
gonna...
also I was on a plane full of people. I couldn't just like.
You can't
The-
just
the
beat him up.
stewardess-
This
was
woman's
like-
abusing her dog.
The stewardess is like, ma'am, do you have a leash for your dog? And I said, yeah, but I was like, he was in a bag, but I didn't have a. Now I have a thing to latch it, so he can't pull the zipper apart to get out because he was pushing his nose through the zipper and splitting the zipper.
Oh,
and
little
coming out.
fucker.
So
God,
now that
I'd-
he's discovered that, so I lock it with like a
Like a carabiner or something.
yeah, a carabiner. And anyway, so after the
Car-
second time,
I can't believe you did it twice.
I know I put
Can you
I-
imagine how hot and mad you'd be? I'd be like furious.
I travel with a bark collar, just like a vibrating one, which stops him from barking for the hotel room, right? If I have to leave him. But so I put that on him, and that shut him up at least. And I kept him out of the bag, but I put a leash on him and just like held him down with my foot. And that seemed to settle him fine. But he ended up settling down, but it was like 2 hours into the flight. He finally settled down and went to sleep. And I was just so embarrassed. I forgot about embarrassing.
That's probably the most embarrassing thing, right?
Yeah, I was so embarrassed. And I was wearing him.
I would have probably jumped out of the plane.
Was like, what else are you supposed to do? You're in a plane. You can't escape. And you're surrounded by people. The guy next to me, who was originally sitting next to me when I first got on the plane, because Lumi was already whining, he got up and left and moved to another place.
He's like, this woman.
This replaces Kat's most embarrassing moment in her life.
It does. It was one of the worst.
She's like,
but
it
was so embarrassing. I blinked it out of my
when
mind.
When you
Seriously.
messaged us and said, "Oh my God, Victor Rosado's on the plane," I was like,
And then
It definitely
she
made
was
my
like,
day
oh,
really
Victor's
fun.
on the plane. And then when she started messaging, like he's freaking out, and then we're like, no. And then she's like, he escaped, and we're like, this
did
can't
you know?
be real.
Did it make you feel better? Knowing that we were all at the salon just dying laughing.
I was just dying of embarrassment. I was wearing a mask because I had a cough.
Come in like, now we escaped again. And we're like, oh.
He was running up and down the aisle.
Yeah, it was me and Ronnie. We're like, oh,
And then she's like, Victor Rosado's here. Oh, like, it was just so
I
funny.
was so embarrassed. Yeah, that definitely is one of the most embarrassing things in my life. Anyways, on the way home, I found a vet in Florida to give him an exam and got him some trazodone. Slept the entire way, not a peep out of him.
Good Lumi.
But anyways, so we didn't get anything huge there. We did get an owner handler best of breed one day and a owner handler group 3, I believe. But we didn't get anything in the actual big Royal Canin show, but that's okay. Literally
win 'em
the
all.
best dogs in the world go to that show.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally dogs come from Spain and Korea and China and all over Argentina. It's
Yeah.
amazing. There's a
Well,
lot
then
of
you went to
I'm-
Westminster
oh,
too, right?
Let her tell her own.
Anyways, December, Lumi also became a daddy ×2. He had
Oh.
a litter. They're about a week apart in age. And if anybody wants a male Bichon, Wendy still has 2 males available. They should have nice coats for grooming competitions. January. So most of this is dog shows. On my off time, I like to travel to dog shows.
Well, you like what you like.
I do.
Yeah.
I love showing so much. I mean, so much. If
Well,
I could just do
appreciate
it,
So
I
thank
could
you.
just do it full time, I would, but I can't. So in January, we drove down to Palm Springs just for the weekend, and that's kind of a bigger show. It's pretty.
It's nice though.
It's a nice show. I like. It's put on well.
That's the one at the Polo Grounds?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's like
I just think
what is it?
Coachella one's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Coachella, but
same
it's
place as Coachella.
so
YOLO.
it's like what is a horse thing? Esquarian or
equestrian.
equestrian?
What did you say? Aquarian? That's like
Aquarius, Aquarian. I don't know.
equestrian.
Yeah, it's at the polo fields, but it's cool because the polo fields are still open while they're doing this, and you can see the guys playing polo, and I find that really cool. But
Tight white
anyways,
pants.
I
So
don't
I-
think you could play polo unless you make at least 6 figures.
oh for sure, just a horse alone and
Yeah.
all the equipment, and yeah. Anyways, I brought Tallulah out as a special, and so for those who don't know, a special is a champion, a dog who's already a champion. So I'm working on her grand championship. She doesn't enjoy showing as much as Lumi, so I think I'm just gonna get her grand and then put her away, or should be a pet.
Yeah.
But that was her first weekend out as a special, and she got a 4-point major.
Nice.
Very proud of her, and best of breed owner handler. In February, it was Ellie's 7th birthday. My baby girl, she
Aw.
turned 7. We had a party.
Baby girl.
Oh, baby girl.
Baby girl, that new Drake song kind of goes.
Is Drake back?
So
Mhm.
I was
Yeah.
actually asking that about
Baby
our friend
girl.
our employee Drake. I'm like, Drake, do you like this new song? And he's like, Drake's cooked. And like he's struggling so hard. And I'm like, but I like that one song. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's catchy, but I don't know if he's back. But
Anyway,
can you come back from that? I don't think so.
I don't know.
know. He had to cancel the rest of his tour in Australia. So
Big
anyway,
deal.
Cat.
So we did just Sky Zone, and I took her out for a day of stuff, and she got her ears pierced, a second piercing.
how'd she do?
So fine.
Dogs.
She's very
Nice.
stoic about it. But that's what she wanted to do. I gave her an option of things, and that's what she wanted.
That's pretty cool. 7-year-old. She's like piercings.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Badass.
Yeah, I asked her if she's gonna get any more because the piercer told her if she go the higher you get on your ear, the more painful it is, and she's like, no. I was like, oh, I'll scan your ear and see what you want. I have 2, but I had my cartilage and stuff pierced.
Did they
and
use the gun or the needle?
They use a gun,
I
and
feel
then
like that'd be more painful, right? The gun.
it's like
I think
faster.
it can be
Well-
less painful but more traumatic to the tissue.
I don't think it's
But-
less. I wouldn't say it's less painful, but yeah,
Takes
I think it's
longer
just
with the needle.
faster, but it is more traumatic. It doesn't heal as well.
Yeah, her ears are healing really well. And I looked for a place like a parlor that would do it, but all the ones around here are like 10 and over.
You go to like Claire's or something.
Yeah, I just went to Claire's. It worked the first time, so
Yeah.
I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
We're just really sensitive in my family. Like we reject piercings a lot. So
And then I traveled to Westminster. So I didn't technically I didn't get invited to Westminster because only the top 5 are, and of course Lumi came in at number 7.
Garbage.
Throw them away.
But I was trying to get into the 5th top 5, but I only
This
show
is out of the country, right?
yeah. I only really show on like actual weekends. I don't show like a lot of people do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at like 4-day clusters, but I only because I have to work to pay for my habits, right?
Yeah.
And so we didn't qualify, but we made it in by lottery. So the dogs who enter are like a lottery, but they can only have so many in every breed. And so we made it in through the lottery, and we didn't get any love there, but the experience of traveling, I've never been to New York, and it was snowing when I got there, and I thought that was so cool.
So is it like normally the number 1 dog wins, or is it like still pretty like up in the air?
It depends. The number 1 dog did win, and he won.
Shocker.
he won Group 1 too, though.
He got a group 1.
Yeah, he
and
won the group
went,
1.
Yep. And his handler was super sick, and she was in the hospital.
That's awesome. You mean like ill?
No, yeah, like she was in the hospital.
She was in
Oh,
the
not
she
like
was
sick.
She was literally sick.
yeah,
Sick,
they
bro.
released her from the hospital the day before,
Yeah.
and she came and she.
Oh, I bet you were like, I hope she doesn't come back to the hospital. Just fucking stay
No,
home.
I don't wish that illness upon anyone, but I didn't want her to push herself. But she only came to show him, and it worked. I mean, he got a group 1, and he, big stage. It would be awesome to be on TV because only the dogs who win Best of Breed go on TV, right?
Right.
Uh,
Well, you
but
can still watch it online.
you can watch it online, each breed, but only the number 1 dog. I mean, the dog who gets breed goes to the groups which are actually aired on
Well,
TV.
you're the thumbnail for the Bichon breed.
I know.
I was watching
Okay,
from home, and
so
I went on
my-
YouTube, and I was like, "It's cats."
Mind you, they did an interview with me in some like local news station, and we talked for like a good 10-15 minutes, and the parts like they chose, I'm like, okay,
Why that?
why that?
I think it's like 10 seconds on. You're like, he's my best friend. And then like, that's it.
no, but then and I said he's pretty all natural, but we were talking about like hair enhancement products. And I was like, oh, he's pretty natural because I don't really add a ton to his hair. I add a little mousse to the back of his neck and a little to the back of his things, but otherwise his coat's pretty nice, so it stands up, and that they chose that part.
Yeah, calling him
Just-
all
oh, no,
natural. I
yeah.
bet you probably about like 50% of the people that seen that were like,
100% hand scissored breed.
But so because she's like, oh, let's go over the whole day and what you use along the way. So we started like, oh, well, I got up at 4 a.m. We went on a good half an hour walk. We washed him. I washed him in this and this and this, and then we blow dry him, and then we scissor him, and then that's the part they chose. I was like,
I'd be
all right.
pissed if I were you. I'd be like,
It's okay.
all natural.
It's I mean
Pretty funny.
the only part
Most
I was talking about,
embarrassing part 2.
yeah, the only part I was talking about all natural was like his coat texture,
Yeah.
and that's the part they chose, and that he
Very
was my best
funny.
friend, and he is one of my best friends. He's highly annoying too, and I love him very much.
As
but
best friends are.
he's like, yeah, he's just he's got his things, right? But he's a super sweet dog, and he's awesome.
Was he your best friend when he was running up and down the plane?
Nope. I had forgotten. Remember, I had blocked that out of my memory until this is a different trip where he traveled just fine to New York. No problems to
He
New York.
trazodone.
Yay, trazodone. But I don't even give him a lot. I can only give him like a quarter tablet. It just takes the edge off. But I gave him the gabapentin, and I think he just had a bad reaction.
Hey,
to it.
I take a little too. A couple shots before I get on the plane.
Yeah.
I go to sleep too.
I take some minutes, just to relax. It's stressful. And then also in February. February was a busy month.
I think you were the busiest out of all of us.
Yeah. But I traveled down south to the San Diego specialty, and I brought Miss Willow,
Yes,
Juan's
you did.
baby,
Yeah.
and at she's 10 months now, and she's only been shown at specialties. She showed at our specialty in October where she was only 6 months old, and she got her first major there. And then on the first day we brought her to this specialty, she got a 5-point major.
Okay. I definitely cried when I saw that. And I was like tearing eyed. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. So thank you for taking her.
No problem.
I love that you love her so much. Thank you.
I do.
appreciate
I love
it.
her. She is a fun dog to show. I enjoy being in the ring with her just because her attitude. She's just like, she throws her head back.
Yeah.
And she's just like, she's a beautiful mover.
She loves life.
Yeah. And she's so gung ho. When I bring her to my house, my mom kind of doesn't like her because she just like
Nonstop.
she's just like she's like a little Energizer bunny, and she runs and leaps all over the place. She's like a mountain goat.
That's Ronnie's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then there's Tallulah who can't even jump. She's one of those like delicate flowers. She stands on the couch. She's like, oh, help me up. But Willow's like, bah!
Yeah.
But
She's fun, very fun.
She's a fun little dog.
Good girl.
But she didn't get anything else the rest of the weekend. But she's also not very mature yet, her body wise. Her coat, she still's got puppy coat and everything. So I'm proud that she's got both her majors out of the way.
Wow.
At 10 months old.
Yeah.
Miss Tallulah, who I brought down there, she got best of breed all 3 days. Oh well, best of breed owner handler the 2 days, because the third day they actually didn't have that. And then she got an award of merit on this actual specialty.
Is the word of merit like a honorable mention, or
Kind of, yeah. You don't get any
Essentially,
points
yeah.
for that, but
Okay.
basically she made the cut every day, which means that out of all and there were 10 bitches being shown specials. So I was very proud of her, but she doesn't have a lot of confidence in the ring, and we're trying to work on that.
So I'm sure everybody.
Did you just fart?
No, I went like this.
No?
I don't
There was
know.
a there was a
there was a-
I heard that.
No, I did not fart. I would admit it if I did.
I think it was the chair.
It's a
Anyways.
couch, girl.
Oh,
No, see,
No.
Anyway.
no, that was
No.
your butt.
I didn't say it was. I
Sure.
said it was me slapping my
okay.
knee.
See how embarrassed she is?
Rewind the tapes. Rewind the tapes.
Here you go. Let's talk
Okay.
about
Anyway, okay. So everybody, I'm sure that's listening, is aware of the blow dryer controversy, right? The trend that's going on
the
right now.
M&M one. The M&M trend.
If you're not aware, there's a trend right now where some groomers were using the blow dryer with the M&M Lose It song. They would sing into the blow dryer and then blow dry a dog in the face that's like trying to bite at the blow dryer. And so it kind of blew up, but everybody's like half and half. Half the people are like, that's wrong. We shouldn't be making videos like that for views. And half the people are like, this is hilarious. So
I think most. Oh, go ahead.
Juan.
I was gonna say when I first saw the video, it was before it like became like a big deal, right?
Right.
And I saw it, and then I was like, dogs do that. And then I
Yeah.
just kind of like scrolled
Do-do.
along, do.
They do.
And then I don't know if I saw like the one that like went the most viral the first, but once I came up again, and then I was like actually like watched it, and it just feels like, yes, dogs do that if they're nervous and stuff, but it just feels like it was on purpose to
Right.
make them react, to make the video better.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what I have a problem with. Yes, the dogs sometimes do that naturally, but busting out a camera and taunting it to make your video go viral is just a little.
Right. I feel like when they are doing that naturally too, we're not just like holding out the dryer so they're lunging and pulling at their neck, and we're like trying to calm them or pet them, or maybe we'll hold their chin so that they're not yanking at the end of their lead or different. We're trying to teach them like, no, it's okay. We don't need to do that.
Well, I came across it pretty early,
Mm-hmm.
and my original thought was, that's funny. And then I thought, could I do this? And I took 2 seconds and thought, you know what? I don't think it's actually like, it's funny, but it's probably too hot to touch.
Yeah.
So because I think it's a little controversial, right? Do I think it's funny? Yes. Do I think it's in poor taste? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think it's like they're abusing the dog? No. I don't think they're doing it in fun, but I do think it's causing some.
But is it fun to the dog?
No. I think some dogs do like play like that with their owners or their groomer, but like I think overall, like it's probably not in good taste. Yeah. It's not in good taste. That's what I came down to it. I don't think they're abusing the dog, but I think it's in poor taste.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it depends on the
I was
way
like,
you're...
at first I was like, I'm going to do this. And I like really thought like, oh,
then
maybe.
you thought about it, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I feel bad for the people that have done it that are getting like roasted because I don't think they're abusing or like I don't think they're terrible or they're abusing the dog. I think they just did something because they thought it was fun and they wanted to like, share their grooming experiences with people. So I don't think like people should be coming for them. But
But also when you do something like that and then people point out like, hey, we're teaching dogs bad habits by doing this, or maybe they could potentially hurt their throat because they're pulling at the end of their lead or different things like that, and then you just stand by it.
What I was gonna say is like some dogs, naturally, like Helios will go to the back of the vacuum cleaner, the air blowing out, and bite it on purpose.
Right.
But I feel like
exactly.
the one with the Yorkie especially, like he seems stressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it'd be different if the dog was like
when they're also
coming at the dryer by itself compared to being blown directly in the face. So neither of my dogs love the dryer. They tolerate it, but they don't love it. And I taught them, I come from behind their head and it's a lot easier on them. And I find like, you could teach a dog properly or at least calm it down. But instead of blowing
Lumi was really bad, right?
Yeah. And
now he's good.
Well, he's ish.
He's actually gotten a lot better. Tallulah's she tries to run from it still, but Lumi just sits there and accepts it now. But I've discovered with Lumi that if it's not hot, like so if I turn on the dryer, even like our dryers don't have heat in them, but if it's warm from just the motor running, he doesn't like that. So I always have to start with his face. And I'll start directly from in front and do like his cheeks here, and then I'll do from the back of his head, from his crest down. And that helps a lot tremendously.
I do the face last because I want the heat for the fluff.
Yeah.
Well, I do, but for him, it freaked him out. Like, he doesn't like hot dryers near his face and his eyes.
You like what you like.
Yeah.
But anyway, I am curious, like anybody who's seen the videos, what your guys' thoughts are, because like, there was things that I didn't think about. And when people were like, well, what about this? Then I was kind of like, oh, well, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, when you say it that way.
And then I made a rendition of the video, but like put my own spin on it. Where like Katie's
and we weren't saying like yes or no or anything like, or what we like thought. We just like made a funny version of it.
And basically like I go, just lose it, and then I turn to blow the air in the dog's face, and it's Katie in a dog suit, and she punches me and knocks me out. And like people were coming, some people were started to come for me.
Really?
But I just ignore it. Yeah, there's over 1,000 comments on
TikTok.
On TikTok, it's over. I think it's 500,000 views, so it's not nearly coming close to the actual trend.
Yeah,
but an offshoot specifically for groomers, that's a big number.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so people were coming for me.
Well, there was some people that were
mostly are like, this is the only way I could watch this, or. But
there was plenty of support, and then there was like a lot of people that I think probably just had already been arguing with other people on other posts.
Yeah.
Because we didn't say like, oh, we think whoever makes these is terrible. Or we were just like, here's our version of the trend. Haha.
Yeah.
But then there was a lot of people that were like, my dog loves being blown in the face, or like, it's not abusive. And we're like, we didn't say that.
Yeah.
We didn't say anything. And so we just kind of left it.
Can't please them all,
Yeah. And so there was like a lot of fighting on we're like, guys, we weren't even trying to like, we were just being funny. We're just funny.
So if you have any comments on that video, like if you want to let us know like what you think, if it's funny or if it's, not right, like let us know, message us. We'll share your opinion on it.
And then I feel like there's been a lot of videos in the last week. There was the dog that got kicked here in the Bay.
I wonder if that's all over, like,
if it's viral everywhere.
Viral everywhere, but yeah, because it's local to us, right?
Yeah, this dude was just washing his car, right?
Yeah, and these chicks came. Someone said that they were having an argument before, and I think the lady just took it too she took it too far, obviously.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, for those who haven't seen it, she went up and kicked this little tiny toy dog.
It was like a tiny dog. It goes flying.
It flew like into the bushes. And
Yeah.
poor little, it's like the guy said it's like 10 or 11 or something like that. It's older dog.
And you know, like it's funny because like I've been angry and like gotten into fights, but like I've never been mad and think I'm gonna take my rage out on an animal
this
Yeah.
little
or
tiny
just
dog.
some creature for some reason. Like that just seems like
Yeah.
totally warped.
I do think it's everywhere though, because my dad messaged me and
Oh,
he's in
okay.
Illinois and he was like, "Did you see the video?" And I was like, "What?"
Well, I'm glad they got arrested.
Yeah.
Yep,
so
they got
did.
arrested, I think, yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did get
Yeah.
arrested. I don't know like what their charges are going to be because I heard that the dog is like in liver failure now.
Yeah.
So I
Can
don't
you
know.
imagine like, and then like you get out of jail and then there's like 20 million views of you kicking this dog? Life ruined.
Think of your actions.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
kick dogs.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Especially the dog wasn't, for those who haven't seen it, the dog wasn't charging her,
No.
wasn't doing anything. She was literally just standing there
Under grass at her house.
at
A
her
tiny
house, at
little toy
her front.
dog.
Yeah, it's like a little poodle maybe or something.
I think it was like an old, maybe like a multi-poo or
multi-poo,
something.
yeah, a little tiny dog. And she
Poor
just
thing.
walks up to it and kicks it into the bushes.
And then the last one is the dog store. The
Yeah.
dog store napping.
These two guys came into a pet store, right? And then one of them pretended to faint, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" And then this guy goes and takes two English bulldogs,
They look
Yeah.
like English
and
bulldogs.
he grabs them, and then
By their scruffs.
By their
too.
scruff,
I
and
was
then
like,
he,
they're
like,
gonna scream.
and then he like trips over something and like flings them, and then
He
it
still
was-
managed to grab them and get out. The girls were trying to stop
I think
him.
he only got one.
I rewatched it a few times. It looks like he does get
I thought
both.
he got two.
I thought
Yeah.
because the one like flew so far, I
Yeah.
was like, poor babies.
Poor baby.
At least
Something-
puppies bounce. At least they.
yeah.
Something I think about though when I see the first thing I thought was ew, a dog store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
For sure.
Okay.
Ew. That was my first thought. Is like, ew,
Not the
gross.
puppies, just in this little pin. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Like hamsters,
like
guinea
hamsters
pigs.
or something.
the thing I always try to like impress upon people is like I am a dog breeder and there's no way in hell I would just send my puppies to a store to sit in. I mean, it was literally just like plastic and they're all just in these tiny
Yeah, like
plastic,
fucking hamsters
like,
or something.
Like, yeah, like they were like
Not
Yeah.
locked either.
not locked, which is totally weird. But yeah, it was like the chinchilla cages. They
Yeah.
like looked like they were in like the round
The
chinchilla
ferrets,
cages.
yeah.
Like
But
plexiglass,
so
yeah.
many of them in there, and I'm like, there's no way because when I'm finding a home for one of the puppies I bred, I'm looking for a home that will fit their lifestyle, and that like their personalities will match, and that's going to be a good home. And I want to personally know that the home that my dog is going to match them. And then if for any reason it doesn't, that dog will come back to me. So
think-
like,
I only know like one person that ever bought a dog from a dog store, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
when we all worked at PetSmart. And this girl's like, "Oh, across the street at the dog store." Yes, we worked across the street with a place with a dog store, but she goes, "They have an Italian Greyhound, and I always wanted one." And we're like, "No, don't do it. Don't buy it." What do you know? After work, she goes and buys it. This dog, when she got it back, she brought it to Banfield. The dog was so sick she couldn't afford the treatments that it had. What is it called? The
A heart murmur.
yeah, or something like that. And then it also had like the cough, like a
Kennel
cold, kennel cough, and it had a couple other things. And she's like, "I can't afford the vet bills." So then one of our other coworkers had to buy the dog from her. I'm like, "You're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
We're all telling you." And she's like, "I rescued him." I'm like,
No.
"You just gave that person
you gave that business
$4,000,
money, yeah.
and now they're gonna like." I don't think
Yeah.
that's a good excuse. I rescued that dog. Like, no, you didn't. Like,
When people say they rescue a dog off Craigslist or from a puppy store or from a backyard breeder, you're not rescuing it if you're giving them money. You know,
Right.
you're just funding the next litter
Mm-hmm.
or the next broker. Because most of the dogs that are in puppy stores come from puppy mills,
Mm-hmm.
who are bought through brokers, who the brokers sell the puppies to the puppy store, and then they're jacked up in prices.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
because they have to make a profit.
Everybody's got to get
I remember
cut.
the bulldog. They sold it for $1,500 on Craigslist. One of the bulldogs, but
What bulldog?
the two that were stolen from the store.
Oh, really?
But I was watching the story, and they said on the newscast, they said, "Oh, but it was valued at $8,000 of merchandise for the two puppies." And I just thought, like, see, that's a puppy store though. $8,000 of merchandise, like
Merchandise. Yeah.
Well,
like these are family pets, and
that
yeah.
somebody, I mean, for us, right? We love these dogs. They live in our homes. We're with them, like, and I cry when I rehome them, you know?
Well, also, we as breeders, like I haven't had a litter, but I will someday. We have our dogs, or their parents are shown.
Mm-hmm.
We spent all that time, that money, that effort, and to do that, to get their championships. And then we health test their parents before we breed them to make sure they're healthy enough to have puppies and they're not going to pass on something. Odds are dogs in pet stores do not have any of those things.
Oh, no.
Their parents probably live in a tiny cage. They're probably from lines and lines of dogs who haven't been health tested.
Yeah.
Especially bulldogs. They're known for being, even like well-bred ones are known for having issues.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Do your research if you're getting a dog.
Crazy
Either
things
way-
online.
Either
Crazy
way,
things
that was
online.
that was just wild. I couldn't believe when he just like backed up against the thing and then just like opened it and grabbed 2 puppies and started running. I was like, oh my God.
He could have done it
also,
more
too,
sly,
it was a
though.
big ass dude. You couldn't have just grabbed all those dogs. I mean, I feel like he did a poor job.
He did a
He did a
terrible
This
job.
lady's trying to take the dogs from him. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the best you could do, bro. You obviously
But
just
it-
super
Like
suck.
a man.
Like he
Also, if you
super
know
sucks.
it-
He sucks at being a criminal.
If you didn't pick him up with their scruff, they probably wouldn't scream.
Well,
you
that-
could probably just been quiet.
Well, that was
Stuck
what
them
I
in
didn't
your
understand.
jacket.
Why grab them by their scruffs? Yeah, if he had like just put them under his arms, he could have just like ran
And,
right
and
over.
a
that,
jacket.
that's a
Don't
felony
give them
amount of
ideas.
money
I
too.
know,
No,
we're all like,
sorry.
It's also a felony amount of money, and he got
Yeah.
$1,500. He had to split with 3. Got 3 other people.
Stupid.
Like what a fucking moron.
Well, do you think the other guy got away though? The guy
Who, the
that
driver?
pretended to faint?
Oh, I would have been like, I really fainted.
we
Yeah,
weren't
I don't know
together.
him.
I don't
Smart,
know
work
anything
smarter.
about him.
I wasn't part of this. I just came in and my heart felt weird. They can't prove it.
I guess. I didn't think about that.
Just
You know why?
happened
Because
as
people
soon-
get caught and then they start snitching on each other. You just gotta come up with a story and
Stick to it.
stick
No
to it.
snitching.
Yeah, you're like, no, I came with them and I fainted right there. Like, what?
I got stressed by the situation. I decided not to do it.
I told him. No, you can't say I told him not to. See, that's like,
Yeah. Too incriminating.
yeah.
Anyway.
I didn't know what's going on.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
There's a lot
Well, I
of
think
crazy
that-
things out there with crazy people.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty good first episode.
All right.
That was nice.
Boys back to
Well, thanks for joining us on our very first episode back of season 2. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.